time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive. And the time
Right now, it feels like everything is a mess here at our mountain homeschool homestead. I even have a cold right now. But you know what? None of that is going to get me down because I'm celebrating something big. You guys, I just counted and I've officially been a homemaker for 30 years now. That's right. I was homeschooled growing up and I got an early start in homemaking for my family when my mother fell ill one year. So today, I'll share a few things I've learned about Christian and godly homemaking over the past 30 years, including something valuable I learned from the Bible about messy seasons where it feels like everything is spinning out of control.
time on our side, we're in a state of hope. Honey, you are my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way.
So over the last few weeks, we have gone camping with friends. We have harvested over 6 gallons of huckleberries. That's right, we took the kids huckleberry picking and it's been the best huckleberry year I have ever seen. Some of the huckleberries were definitely the size of my large thumbnail. And we also have had raspberries coming in. We have a friend who I bought 6 gallons of raspberries off of. So we've just been so busy processing berries and good food. Our green beans started and look at how many green beans we have. I mean, this is like crazy. I knew there would be a lot. I did this on purpose because I wanted to plant for some other people as well that I knew weren't able to plant green beans this year. So we definitely have enough for us, and it looks like we're going to have plenty for others to spare. Cucumbers are coming on. We're going to have lots of pickles to make pretty soon here, and today I'm probably going to start pickling just a few jars. Down in the garden, our tomatoes started getting away from us. We didn't get them tied up as soon as we probably should have. So we've been working on tying up tomatoes and making stakes. We were able to take the plastic off of our greenhouse, and we did this so that the tomato plants that were in the greenhouse would get more ventilation. They definitely needed some more air coming through on them to help with the pollination. Our carrot harvest this year is nothing like our carrots last year. Our carrots last year were barely bigger than my pinky finger, and we're getting some good sized carrots, and we're not even close to being done with the growing season. Before I get too deep into today's video though, I am excited to tell you guys that I actually did something I don't do very often, and I accepted a sponsorship for this video. I have been having trouble with my knives lately. I don't know what has gone wrong with my knives, but I think it could have something to do with a poor sharpener. Anyways, some of my favorite knives have gone dull recently, and I've had a lot of trouble getting a good edge back on them. So I was very excited when I was contacted by Nakano, and they were offering to send me one of my favorite styles of knives for free in exchange for a small review in this video. So I am excited to tell you guys all about this today. Nakano Knives are high quality, authentic Japanese knives. These knives are forged in the city of Seikai, Japan. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. First founded in 1918 through a very long history of sword making. The blacksmiths are very skilled at making these knives, and you can really tell the difference when you're holding these knives. They feel different. They feel durable and strong and made to last. At Nakano, they believe that products made by hand have a certain warmth which machines don't have. And I have to say, I love that. I agree with that. Another saying at Nakano is they believe a craftsman with good skills and a good spirit naturally creates beautiful products. And I would have to agree. Nakano knives have been reviewed and recommended by international Michelin chefs, Japanese sushi chefs, book authors, and TV celebrities who use them daily. Having a homestead with this full producing garden, cooking as much as I cook on a daily basis for as many people as I'm cooking for, I find that I do need chef quality tools in the kitchen. Lesser quality products do not last me more than a few months most of the time. I've been shopping around at different Japanese knives lately because based on my research, they're some of the best knives. And so when I received an email from Nakano wanting to send me a Mito Santoku knife, I was pretty excited about it. So this knife is absolutely gorgeous. It's made with natural olive wood and high carbon stainless steel. So far, you guys, I could not be more impressed. I'm really excited to tell you guys that Nakano has offered a discount code for me to give to my followers. You can find out more in the link below this video in the description. I waited a little bit too long to harvest this garlic. I should have harvested it probably maybe 2 weeks ago.
In this scene, I am using garlic buds. So my garlic scapes, I didn't get them harvested in time, and they basically blossomed and they made these little like buds, and I've never used these or seen them before, but you know, around the homestead, we don't like things to go to waste. And so I kind of inspected these and noticed they're basically just like a clove of garlic, only smaller and like a little bud. So I'm putting 2 of these in each jar to use them up. And this is the first year I've been on the ball with planting succession dill. I've always planted dill in years past, but it's always been ready to harvest like all at the same time. And then I've had to buy dill when I went to make my pickles. Well, this is the first year I do not have to do that. I was on top of it. I am putting about 6 peppercorns in each one of these jars and a whole head of nice plump dill seed. Next, I'm going to be using mustard powder. Now, you're supposed to use mustard seed. It would be better if I had mustard seed, but I wasn't that on top of things. So this is gonna have to be good enough and it'll work just fine. I have a helper in the kitchen, you guys. Okay, let's face it, it's summertime, the kids have a month off school, and if I don't have them helping me in the kitchen some, they'll just be sitting around watching TV all the time. So this is better. At least with this, they're learning some nice basic life skills and we're getting to spend some quality time together. Now, I have been teaching my children how to safely use knives for a couple years, not all of them, it depends on the age, of course. And here we're categorizing the pickles into sizes. Not pickles, they're not pickles yet, they will become pickles. But we're putting the cucumbers into sizes and I'm just gonna start stuffing the jars. I thought as I do this, we could talk about how to handle it when the kids are home from school if you're not homeschooling, or if you are homeschooling and you know you've got the messes all the time. There is something really special I learned years ago. You know how when you've got the kids around, and of course the more kids you have and the smaller your kids are, the more you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But do you know how with kids there comes messes, constant messes, and you know they're still learning how to pick up after themselves and they're still learning executive functioning skills. Well, there's something I learned years ago. There's a Bible verse that I want to share with you today. All right, so just bear with me here. At first, it's not going to make much sense, so allow me to explain. Here's the verse. Proverbs 14:4. Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean, but abundant crops come by the strength of the ox. And the King James Version says, where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. One of the most valuable lessons that I've learned in my 30 years of homemaking is that whenever there is a really big mess, there's usually a lot of creativity or production happening. Things are happening and something is going to come from all of that mess. Now, as a mother who's homeschooling, another thing I've noticed is that where those really big messes are, there is always for me a little bit of anxiety, but out of that mess always comes the most learning, it seems like. Remembering this helps me keep things in perspective and grin and bear it, at least enough to get through to when things can get tidy again. In this scene, I'm getting out my electric canner. I love this thing for canning pickles because it keeps the temperature completely steady and it helps the pickles to turn out a little bit more crisp, I feel like. This canner is definitely one of the best investments I've made in our homestead so far because I love that I can take it outside if it happens to be a really hot day and I'm trying to keep the house cool. I can do all the canning outside in my outdoor makeshift kitchen. I want to talk about something else I have learned about homemaking. Homemaking is a very humbling job. It is definitely not a job for the proud. In the Bible, it talks about a group of women who followed Christ and ministered to him. If you look up the word ministered, they were not teaching or ministering as in preaching. They were just taking care of his needs and serving him. And with homemaking for our families, that is essentially what we're doing. We are in a ministry serving our families. And like I said, it keeps you humble. It's important to remember to keep this in perspective as well. It is not a degrading work. It is actually some of the most important work, taking care of our families and taking care of the needs.
We were made for each other to hold on to. I was carved out of redwood beneath your moon. I was birthed in the mountains under the sun. Something's changed, you can't see my face in the crowd no more. Something's changed, you can't see my face in the crowd no more. We are living the dream together out here on the road, and our love takes center stage at every single show.
We're going on day 2 of canning our green beans. We got them all picked yesterday, the kids did. Today we got all of them snapped. I washed them yesterday. The kids snapped some last night, but then today was the big day where we got them all snapped. We also had eye appointments for all 6 of the kids, and I've got a friend coming over in a little bit, and pressure cooker canners make her a little bit nervous, so I told her I would help her with her beans. So we have an abundance of beans and we're able to barter with them this year, which is super cool. I've been bartering green beans for milk so far, and that's really nice. Goat milk and cow milk. So I'm getting 4 gallons of goat milk, and I bartered that with about 16 pounds of green beans. You have to keep a really close eye on these. You don't want them to get out of control with the pressure. That could be dangerous. If you guys like watching canning processes, I will link to a video I did below from last year where I gave my daughter a whole pressure cooker and canning lesson. This is my new canner back there. This is the old one. This was given to me by, I believe, my mother-in-law a long time ago. So with an older canner, something you should know about them is you always want to take them in to your local extension office and get them tested. They will test your pressure cooker canner for free. So this one was tested and it's a pound off. So when it is at 11 pounds, according to the gauge, it's actually 12 pounds. Sometimes they can be a pound or 2 off either direction. So if this was a pound off and it was low, so if when the gauge said 11 pounds and it was actually 10, that could be really dangerous. You want to have these at the right pound reading because otherwise bacteria can grow in your food. If this thing drops down below 12 pounds of pressure, because that's what I need to do for these beans, if it drops below 12 pounds of pressure, then I would need to start the timer over again after I got it up to 12 pounds of pressure.
The devil would love nothing more than to convince us that the work we are doing as homemakers is a waste of time, is not important, that there are better things we could be doing with our time. And those messes and those small moments are where those lies really start to take root. You see, the devil, he wants to steal our harvest that we have coming. And if we can just remember and hang on and continue in the humble work of serving our families, there is some really big rewards we have coming. All we got to do is just keep our eye on the end goal and the prize. I've learned that it's really easy to miss seeing the value of a homemaker in oneself. But I have also noticed that when I look outward at other homemakers, it all comes into perspective, and I see the value in what other homemakers are doing a lot of times before I see the value in myself as a homemaker. Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." So whenever I feel like there are just so many other better things I could be doing with my time, I like to look outward at other fellow homemakers that are humbly doing the work of serving their families. Some of you might be wondering, how do you keep your families from taking you for granted as a homemaker? And that is a really good question. So we will talk about that a little bit. Of course, I can only speak for myself. And one of the ways that I have found to help my family appreciate my work as a homemaker is to have a part-time job. So from the beginning of my homemaker journey as a married woman, I have had part-time jobs most of the time. In Proverbs 31:18, it says, "She sees that her trading is profitable and her lamp does not go out at night." I found that having a little something going to the side helps me tremendously in feeling important and feeling productive, and it helps to mix things up a bit and just keep things interesting. The trick is, of course, balance and keeping the family and the needs for the family as priority. But having a part-time job seems to help the family realize they don't need me all of the time, at their beck and call. They learn a little bit of independence, and they learn how to appreciate what I do for them more than they do if I'm just there at their beck and call all of the time. Another thing that helps is there is something I do not do for my family. I do not do every single little thing for them. If there is something that I know that they're capable of doing, I allow them to do it. I am the wife and I'm the mother, and I am not the maid. So I do expect them to help out and pitch in. We definitely believe in teamwork and teaching teamwork in our home. Having a big family is a lot of work, especially in the early years when all of the kids are very young. But something really amazing happens after all the messes of the little years, and after all the labor comes a wonderful harvest. If I was to tackle all of today's work, I wouldn't even get it all done today. It would be probably 2 days work, but as we know, many hands make light work. And so with all the helpers, we're gonna tackle this place and probably have it tidied up in maybe an hour. So that's the encouragement. If you can just suffer through messes for a while, there comes some really exciting times later where not only does a lot of production happen, but memories do as well. Exciting, fun memories. Over the winter, I had what I refer to as kind of a midlife crisis. And I feel like I worked through things fairly quickly, and I'm thankful for that because it wasn't fun. Essentially, I was feeling very depleted and burnt out, especially with homemaking. After some deep reflection, I re-evaluated my goals and my priorities and what is important to me in life. This helped me tremendously. So I believe, and I learned from that when it comes to homemaking, remember why you chose this. Remember what made you choose this. What were the things that led up to you choosing it? Is it something that just happened to you, or is it something that you actively chose? If it's something that just happened, then I would say it's definitely high time to sit down and reevaluate things. What are your goals in life? What is important to you? For me, my top goals are God and family. So remembering that helped me to remember why I chose to be a homemaker As a homemaker, it is far easier to put God first and my family first and take care of them, at least for me anyways.
Making